at the end of the day, the definition of luck really determines on what you are valuing. Luck as a merit we all need. Without that, nothing can be done. Without the luck or the merit, can't even have a cup of tea and appreciate this properly. This is a known fact. This is obvious. I have a monk who attends me. He eats a lot. And for someone who really values, his value is eating, eating. For someone who really values eating, he is so lucky because he has such a good metabolism. He never gets fat. No matter how much he eats, he never gets fat. So when every other people are worried about carbohydrate, pasta, so on, he doesn't have to. He can just eat whatever. What a lucky man for someone who wants to eat. That's his value. As a Buddhist, as a follower of the Buddha, myself, it is my job, so to speak, to remind all of us that follower of the Buddha, we value spiritual luck or spiritual merit. That's so important. Now, there's something we have to be. There's something that we need to endure. Initially, the spiritual luck and the material luck, they don't get along well. The great Nyingmapa master Paltul Rinpoche said that he does not believe initially that a person is adorned with a spiritual luck and the material luck equally. But he said, more likely, this person is materially very lucky, and therefore his spiritual luck is also a spiritual materialistic luck. This is why many who has even a little bit of curiosity to embark on a journey of spiritual journey has this fear. Okay, they like the teachings, they like the path, but they can't let go the material luck or the material whatever. So initially, many of us, we have this sort of, we always have this second thought before we plunge ourselves into a spiritual journey. Well, actually, many don't even have the interest in the spiritual journey. Some they do, but they feel that they can do it maybe later in their life when once they are satisfied with the material wealth. Not realizing that this so-called later part of the life may never come. Now, there's two things I can say. Spiritual world and the material world, I don't think they will get along. We can try, but if a spiritual journey try to compromise, then the spiritual journey is no more a spiritual journey. It has become a material journey. Now, this immediately scares us. So does that mean that most of us, we who cannot renounce, who cannot really do, who cannot abandon family, friends, work, I don't know, can't we just, most of us, can't we begin a spiritual journey? Are we deprived from luck, spiritual luck? Not necessarily. In fact, it's very possible. See, I was saying the spiritual journey and the material journey, they contradict. But it does not mean that they can, how should I put it? They contradict, but you have no choice at the moment but to pursue the spiritual journey while we have the material luck or wealth. If you want to follow a spiritual path, that's the only way. See, the aim of a material world, as I said earlier, is happiness. And the spiritual journey is also happiness. So as far as the aim is concerned, there is a mutual agreement. It is the method. So best we could do is if we can pursue the material wealth with the bird's eye view of a spiritual path, that would really make our spiritual and material journey successful. And this has been demonstrated time and again how the spiritual, someone who really ultimately values the spiritual luck can let go the material luck when it is necessary. So for this reason, in the Buddhist sutras and shastras, when we do prayers that involves seemingly very worldly also. For instance, prayer, aspiration to live long, aspiration to live healthy, aspirations to be wealthy. But it all must eventually, all this wish must come true according to the Dharma. So, for what I'm saying, what the sutras are saying is, we aspire to live long so that this longevity become some kind of a condition to practice the Dharma, to lengthen and strengthen the spiritual journey. We aspire to be wealthy, healthy, all of that, so that we can strengthen the spiritual journey, such as benefiting the sentient beings. So in this way, we try to use like an alchemy method. Like we try to use the motivation to turn the material journey into something spiritual. See the contradiction between the spiritual and material. If I give you one more example, is aspiration, spiritual aspiration is possible to achieve. Whatever you are aspiring spiritually, it's very possible to achieve. Like if you aspire to be enlightened, that's actually really achievable. It's realistic. But if you are aspiring to be rich, healthy, live long, all of these actually are not achievable. There's no such thing as I have lived long. What do we mean by that? Even 8 years old is long enough. But 80 years is not long enough also. So it's not really achievable. Like material beings, materialistic people, they never think, almost all of them, they don't think that now I have become richest. Now I have become the most powerful. They all think they still need to make more. They still have to be more powerful. So see, if you go through every aspect of Buddha's teaching, such as in the Mahayana Sutras, wealth, if you want to, that there's a teachings about generosity, right? So if you want to be wealthy, Buddha said, you should practice generosity. Many of us, when we read these sentences, we think, okay, so this means that if I give and give now, maybe in the future and next life, then I will become rich. That is one way to understand. It is not that wrong to think that way, but there's a much better way to understand this. Wealth or richness, the definition of richness is thinking that you own something, you possess something. And the poverty, the definition of poverty is that you don't have, you need, you want, you don't have. So when you are performing the act of giving, whether it's giving a time, giving a space, giving a coin, giving a flower, I don't know, whatever, giving, you are already experiencing the experience of having something that which you give. So already you are rich. And beside that, of course, the act of generosity instantly make oneself happy, and seeing others happy by your generosity makes you also happy. So in this way, we should determine what kind of luck we are looking for, and what kind of luck that we are craving for, basically. If you are craving for material luck, then it's like a once in a blue moon success situation. It may happen, it may not happen. And even if you are lucky materially, we don't know. It does not guarantee that we will be happy because you are lucky.